Ooh, Misfortune Aurelia. So this version has a one of Gangplank at the top, which there kinda sort of is a precedent for. I'm just going to keep, I think, both Fortune Croakers here. Yeah, just to have blockers. Gangplank's just another really big unit I can play on curve and block as much damage as possible. I'm not sure I like the Gangplank, however. It's nice if your deck is forced to be a bit slower. You just have like a big body for your top end. But, you know, they had to cut an Aurelia for it, so that could be pretty detrimental. I'm gonna just keep passing here. Oh, now that they develop Crack Shot, I'm gonna get a blocker in play so we don't just take a bunch of damage on an open attack. I was hoping I could get away with just floating spell mana and just chilling, but they're getting on board pretty early. Double Fortune Croaker is nice, I guess. Getting this first one in play allows me to set up the second one here to draw a card. Misfortune now. I can just get this set up. I can chump block the Misfortune, clean her up with Red Card or Ravenous Flock if they attack. So this forces them to just attack with the Crackshot Corsair. So I think this is fine. Block a little bit of damage, and we drew a card. I'm going to float the mana rather than developing the Jagged Butcher there. Try to get a Plunder for it. That way I can block even more damage. I like the red card here. Just sets up a Ravenous Flock to clear the Misfortune. I maybe could have just passed back to them. Because if they end the round and we just float a bunch of mana for our spells down the road, they only have Misfortune in play, which would kind of be good for me, I guess. But and then if they develop, then it would be, of course, an extra unit inside the red card, but we'll just swing into him here. I'm a bit worried about maybe Quindisciplines, but they don't call me out on it. They're just going to block the Fortune Croaker. And now that they've developed the Jagged Taskmaster, I need to take out the Misfortune here because I'm falling behind on board. I maybe shouldn't have attacked with the Fortune Croaker, but I wanted to sort of maybe force them to trade away the Misfortune. But lead and follow, it's basically like a Nopify. I guess we're fine. Zap Spray Fin's nice. A little bit of card draw, start getting some chip damage through. They're going to replay the Misfortune. This is okay with me. It resets her counter of leveling up, and that's like the biggest thing about this matchup is Misfortune leveling up once they start getting that AoE damage going. I'm surprised I haven't started seeing more of this list, to be honest, after they reverted the buffs to Misfortune. Reverted the nerfs, I mean. But now we've got a big Gangplank in play. We can just block whatever they do here. Oh, Defiant Dance. I guess that's fine. This blade is pretty big. I have to take it, though. We get hit with 4 damage, but we get to swing back in with the Twisted Fate and the Zap. I'm threatening a lot of mana here, but they don't take the bait on the Misfortune. But now we got our Plunder off the Zap Sprayfin. We can play the Jagged Butcher, and we can Monster Harpoon here. This does get nopified, though, because of the discount. They could have another lead and follow, but it's really just all about getting the Misfortunes off of the board, in my opinion. When you compare it to Aurelia Azir, I really haven't played a lot of this matchup at all, but from what few games I did play, that was definitely the biggest thing. Play Gangplank again. They get to keep pulling the barrel and just kind of getting free 1 damage pings on my Nexus, but as long as I can get a bunch of bodies in play like this, they can't attack with anything else. Second Defiant Dance. It feels so bad to take this damage, but I gotta do it. As long as they can't attack with their main backline, I think I'm okay. Because we're pretty low on HP on both sides. Parley? Yo, and that's main deck. That's a crazy tech. What is that in the deck for? But, yeah, now they're starting to feel the pressure. They want to close out now that they're out of cards. And we get to trade away their board. I still have to deal with this misfortune, however. We've got Twisted Fate alive still, just as a quick attacker. And I can play Gangplank again. They played Double Defiant Dance. I don't think they have another. Come on. We're pretty low. I think all the damage that we've taken has been from those blades I let through and just misfortune damage. We haven't seen like a Green Glade Duo or anything yet. We still have Zap Sprayfin in play. Dreadway Deckhand gets me a second barrel so I can set up Gangplank's Parley to kill the misfortune. And since I have all 3 copies of Gangplank, I'm fine if this gets denied or doesn't go through. Because I'm not, like, losing out on too much here. Just force them to spend the mana right. They've got Deny or Nopify, or another Lead and Follow for the misfortune. We just attack them for lethal. And it goes through. 3 damage onto misfortune. 3 damage onto the Nexus. You probably could have sent the Parley right on the Nexus if you wanted. But this should be lethal. Will of Ionia. Wow. Double Defiant Dance and Will of Ionia. Whew. But, yeah, they can only draw 1 card. And, I mean, what's that 1 card going to be? Maybe double up or something? I don't really have a way to stop it. And there's a surrender. Okay, so we weathered the storm. That was pretty close. I wonder, again, I really wonder if Aurelia Misfortune is going to become more common. So I'm really liking this deck. As a new interesting spin on Swain Twisted Fate, because Gangplank is just a better unit you can just play on curve, that you don't have to do a bunch of extra work in order to deal damage to the Nexus with Overwhelm, and Dreadway just lets you threaten a lot of burst damage rather than Leviathan's slower clock. But against Shen Jarvan, I like the Death's Hand. We can clean up a River Shaper or something. I'm going to mulligan the Gangplank, try to get some early blockers here, I think. If you kept the Gangplank there, I wouldn't blame you. Just have a big unit to play on curve. Can stop a Screeching Dragon, maybe, with a little bit of help. Which is, I suppose, another upside running Gangplank over Swain. But we're just passing. Taking some damage from the Fleet Feather Tracker, but these decks actually play kind of similarly, where you need to strike that balance between developing bodies and having enough spell mana floated. We've got Twisted Fate in hand, which I did keep because Gold card is super useful in this matchup. Green Glade Lookout. I can go for Deckhand here. Just have a blocker. They pull, like, the barrel with the Green Glade Lookout, then I can just use a spell to detonate it. Yeah, so we'll just go for Death's Hand here on the Green Glade Lookout. Could be Twin Discipline or Sharp Sight here to survive this, but if I go for a bigger commitment like Noxian Fervor, then it gets owned by like a single combat. So I figured I better just kind of hedge my bets, so to speak. So yeah, there's the Sharp Sight. If you went for Noxian Fervor there, I definitely wouldn't blame you. It depends on how much you fear Green Glade Lookout, because it can hit some really nasty stuff in this matchup, like, oh my god, Brightsteel Protector. Brightsteel Formation, I mean. Like 4 mana or 3 mana Screeching Dragon. I've played a little bit of this deck, and the outcomes are really wild. So I'm going to get rid of this thing now that they've got Shen in play. I can't let them just give it Barrier and keep it going. Single combat. Okay, so they did have single combat, so I'm kind of glad I didn't go for the Noxian Fervor earlier. We still get it off of the board at least, so that's 2 procs on the Green Glade Lookout. Let's see what they hit. Ooh, 4 mana Screeching Dragon. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. If that Screeching Dragon is 4 mana, then that means they have double Screeching Dragon, or they didn't have any units in hand when they played the other. But gold card to stop that is okay. We can take 3 damage from the Shen. This sets up Ravenous Flock to kill that Screeching Dragon down the road. There's the Ravenous Flock, thank goodness. And we just got to draw some cards here. Zap Spray Fin. Excellent. Attunes, draws more cards, turns this Twisted Fate into more of a threat to maybe level up here in a few turns. These control decks with Twisted Fate aren't exactly focused on leveling up Twisted Fate, but it happens every once in a while. Concerted Strike. Do have Ravenous Flock here. Twisted Fate will still go down, but I'm just going to do this now so that the Screeching Dragon doesn't get the Fury proc and live through some shenanigans down the road. But yeah, drawing all those cards made them respect the Twisted Fate, and that's fine, because I kind of want to... I don't want to draw a Twisted Fate's pick a card. I just want another Twisted Fate. Get some damage in with the Zap. And Gangplank is nice. We're almost at the point where maybe we can play Dreadway. And then our trades become massive, right? Pulling the barrel here, that's fine. Oh, they pull with... Yeah, they cast the barrier. I can't risk trying to block with Gangplank there just to value trade. Not even trade, just to defend myself in case of a Sharp Sight or Twin Discipline or some other barrier. But now we've got the Dreadway set up. Draw a Parley. We can start threatening a lot of damage on their Nexus. Now the Zap Spray Fin's damage is doubled. And we can hit for 4 potentially. Sharp Sight could be their option to stop this, but even if they have the Sharp Sight, we can still clean up with a lot of mana. But let's check and see what they got. If I use the Parley here, deal 2 damage to the Bright Steel Protector, deals 2 more damage to the Nexus. This is where our burn game plan starts to come up through. And if they have Sharp Sight or something else... Okay, just a Chain Vest. Cool, cool, cool. I think that tells me they don't have Sharp Sight, right? So we'll just get our damage through. I could attack with a Dreadway. It's basically an 8/6, but again, Twin Disciplines, I'm really respecting it. That +3 could allow one of these to trade up, and I don't have enough mana to back up that attack. If I had more mana for the Death's Hand and stuff, I definitely would take that trade, or even Scorched Earth. They're hesitating. I wonder if they're thinking it's worth it. They're going to take 4 damage. They must have had something. Maybe a single combat. Maybe they're just waiting. That way they can use it to answer a Noxian Fervor, maybe. Could be another Concerted Strike coming through. Second Dreadway is definitely greedy. If I play second Dreadway, I don't have a lot of options afterwards. I can go for Whispered Words. A lot of options here. Death's Hand to take out the Tasty Fey Folk, I think is my best one. We deal 4 to it, so that covers Sharp Sight. And we get even more damage onto the Nexus. Set up for double Noxian Fervor lethal potential. That deck I've heard doesn't run Deny and just Nopeify, but I feel like you should run at least one. Especially with Death from Below. Yeah, see, there's the Deny. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So I can go for Noxian Fervor here to try to take out that Lifesteal if I want. Or now that they've played the Deny, try to go for the Noxian Fervor lethal, but I need to see if they spend a little bit more mana. I'm wary of like single combat or something. We can just block the Shen here. And if I block the Fey Folk, then we're just defending our Nexus HP. And, oh, they spend the rest of their mana. I was just going to say, I want to see if they're going to spend a little bit more mana on the combat here. So now they go for the double Lifesteal Spirit's Refuge. We can go for the double Noxian Fervor. I don't think it matters what targets I hit. And that is definitely lethal. They only have 1 mana to respond to this. And that's GG. Oh my god, Dreadway is so ridiculous. And Gangplank levels up. Let's go.